Welcome to Healing Wisdom, a Thursday morning talk show featuring guests sharing their stories and knowledge. We discuss the healing aspects of the arts, metaphysics, social justice, and adventure through all types of terrain. So join me, Pandora Peoples, here on WOMR 92.1 FM in Provincetown and WFMR 91.3 FM in Orleans. We're streaming worldwide at WOMR.org. Hello, Cassie. Thank you so much for joining us today on Healing Wisdom. You and your sister are part of a Canadian-Scottish group that plays Celtic music, and you're performing 2 shows here on Cape Cod. First, you'll be at the Harwich Cultural Centre on Tuesday, December 17th, and then you'll be at the Gallery on Main in Falmouth, which is Wednesday, December 18th, which is my birthday. Woo!
Oh my gosh, happy birthday.
Thank you. I'm really looking forward to coming to see you two. And I've been listening to your music. It's really gorgeous and really soulful. And I feel like your voice is very unique. It's not just pretty. There's just a lot of feeling coming through. You know, you play guitar, your sister plays the violin. And I'm wondering how you two got started collaborating musically together.
Great question. And, we sort of don't remember a time because we grew up, as sisters and both playing music from such a young age. It was just natural that we would practice together and sort of come up with ideas. When you're learning an instrument, it can be very, very painful for our parents. Anyone who's around and the, parents of young kids will certainly understand. So the fact that we could make it fun and kind of try new ideas and not stick strictly to the material our teachers were providing us was something really kind of fun. And it made it a collaborative effort right from the start. So, we started, our first performances were just busking at home in our hometown and in Annikennish, like at a seafood restaurant. And we would spend the summers playing there and kind of entertaining the tourists that would come through. And we got a little taste of some financial success in that realm. And, we went from there. We made our first record in 2011. And things kind of just evolved from there. We feel very lucky to be able to do this as a career full time.
Can you talk about what draws you to the Celtic music? Were you surrounded by that as children? Is it part of the whole Nova Scotia ethos?
Kind of. Nova Scotia is Latin for New Scotland. So we still have a very strong connection to the Celtic heritage that came with the first round of settlers that especially in northern Nova Scotia where we're from. The Gaelic language is still very much a part of everyday life there. We have the Gaelic bilingual street signs. So we have the Gaelic and then the English on a lot of signs in our county. And Maggie studied Gaelic in high school, and so she's pretty close to being fluent. She knows how to curse for sure. That's like the first thing you always learn. So, the music is such a part of the language, and the dancing as well. They act as sort of a trifecta together. And we grew up as dancers too. So we have the language, the music, and the dancing, and they all work together to create this really beautiful culture that we feel very blessed to have been brought up with.
Speaking of embodying knowledge and wisdom, I would think that learning the dances that were done hundreds of years ago.
Absolutely.
So, there must be remnants both musically and dance-wise of that ancient.
Oh, for sure. There's definitely a primal aspect to it. And we find that a lot when we're touring is, people might not have a direct connection to the Scottish or Celtic music, but when they hear it, it is kind of awakens something in them. It's very, especially with Maggie and I being siblings and coming from a long line of musicians in our family, there is that deep-rooted connection to the music. And, these are melodies that have survived for hundreds and hundreds of years. And we as a band really tried to take those older songs and tunes and bring them to a place that is accessible for people in this modern age. But the themes and the musical ideas are still as relevant today, I would say, as they were hundreds of years ago, which is very exciting.
the babe in the manger. Lo, for his cart the bright angels attend. Brightest and best of the stars of the morning, dawn on our darkness and lend us thine aid. Star in the east, our horizon adorning, guide where our infant Redeemer was laid. Cold on his cradle the dewdrops are shining. Low lies his bed with the beasts of the stall. Angels adore him in slumber reclining. Wise men and shepherds before him do fall. Brightest and best are the stars of the morning, dawn on our darkness and lend us thine aid. Star in the east, our horizon adorning, guide where our infant Redeemer was laid. Say, shall we yield him in costly devotion, odors of Eden and offerings divine, gems from the mountain and pearls from the ocean, myrrh from the forest and gold from the mine? Vainly we offer each ample oblation, vainly with gifts we his favor secure. Richer by far is the heart's adoration, nearer to God are the prayers of the poor. Brightest and best are the stars of the morning, dawn on our darkness and lend us thine aid. Star in the east, our horizon adorning, guide where our infant Redeemer was laid. Brightest and best of the stars of the morning, dawn on our darkness and lend us thine aid. Star in the east, our horizon adorning, guide where our infant Redeemer was laid.
Can you talk about how you choose the music that you do and what's your relationship to composing too?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. So we grew up very much steeped in a traditional music background. So playing music that had been handed down to us through generations. And most recently, we've sort of embarked on composing things, original compositions, but we still very much rely on our history and our background as instrumentalists to create these melodies. So you might be listening to something and say, wow, that sounds like it could have been written yesterday or 400 years ago. And we sort of like to walk that line of contemporary and, things that have really resonated throughout many, many years and generations. So for our Christmas album, for example, we really went deep into the archives of Christmas music, and we've one particular song that's my absolute favorite is the original ancient precursor to the holly and the ivy. And we know that is sort of a Christian sacred carol for the holidays. But it originally was a pagan carol that dates back to the 14th century, sort of talking about the competing forces during winter and attributing more masculine forces to the holly that has these red berries, very virile, and then the ivy has more of a feminine kind of gentle creeping nature. And so the song sort of talks about those two and how those elements are at play, especially during the winter time. So when we stumbled upon that version, we immediately fell in love and decided to use that on the record as one of the tracks. And playing that live is still one of my most favorite moments of the show.
Stands outside the door, full of sore and cold. Holly and his merrymen, they dance and they sing. Ivy and her maidens, they're weeping while they ring. not as I wish. The holly has the mastery as the manor is. And the ivy, nay, though it's not as I wish. The holly has the mastery as the manor is. The holly hath berries as red as any rose. The foresters, the hunters, keep 'em from the does. And ivy hath berries as black as the coal. There will come the owl and eat them as she goes. And the ivy, nay, though it's not as I wish. The holly has the mastery as the manor is. And the ivy, nay, though it's not as I wish. The holly has the mastery as the manor is. The holly hath birds, a full fair flock, the nightingale, the popinjay, the gentle laverock. Good ivy, what birds hast thou? None but the owlet that cries how, how. May ivy, nay, though it's not as I wish. The holly has the mastery as the manor is. Nay, ivy, nay, though it's not as I wish. The holly has the mastery as the manor is. Nay, ivy, nay, though it's not as I wish. The holly has the mastery as the manor is. Nay, ivy, nay, though it's not as I wish. The holly has the mastery as the manor is.
And one of the interesting things about the whole Druid culture and the whole pagan, Celtic culture is that it's been interwoven through everything. So I feel like it's kind of like the heart and pulse of, that connection, especially to land, just the spirit of the place. Have you performed in Scotland?
Yes, it's so interesting. We think, especially coming from Nova Scotia, we have such a strong connection to the land, and we can trace our family through 7 generations. And we actually have the same plot of land that our original family immigrated to and settled. So we have this strong connection. And you go to Scotland and it is really magical. You feel with the land and the people and just the general approach to life. Like, they have a very witty sense of humor. They're very smart. It's like you have to be really quick on your feet, and they respect that kind of banter. And musically, they have a sort of like, it's hard to describe. They are so proud of their music in Scotland, and they celebrate it so spectacularly. And then coming from Nova Scotia, we have a similar style, but it definitely has taken on its own identity and become a very unique style of playing there. So they kind of look at you like, wow, like almost as if you were a long lost cousin and you went away. But it's undeniable how the roots are such the same, but we've kind of branched off into our own world. So they have a little sense of pride in that. And they're always interested in, especially the fiddling. Scotland has tended toward, they've sort of lost their dancing culture a bit. So their music has almost taken on a classical style. Their technique is just out of this world. The playing is so incredibly proficient. And when they hear the Nova Scotia style, it's a bit more gritty. It's a bit more kind of, it's really meant to be danced to. And a lot of time the drive and the lift of the tunes is more valuable than the pitch or playing every note exactly perfectly. So when they hear us play, they have a shift of priority kind of, and they can see where the dancing is so much a part of it, and it's still so vital and alive as a tradition even today.
That's very cool. Very cool. Thank you so much for speaking with us today on Healing.
Pleasure.
So you're going on tour, and you're just beginning your tour right now.
Yeah.
starting in Maine and New Hampshire and working your way down, or how's it work?
Yeah, we're going to be in New England for the majority of this tour. New Hampshire, Connecticut, of course, on the Cape. We'll be in Boston on the 15th, and then we'll be heading south, and we finish off in Tennessee. So,
Wonderful.
yeah, covering lots of ground. It'll be great.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much.
On Dasher, on Ditzer, on Prancer and Blitzen, Comet and Cupid, you all better listen. Oh, do you recall the smoothest reindeer of all? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Her name is Vixen. She really knows how to steer. She was born to be a wild, wild reindeer. She's so fly. She's the queen of the sky. In the blink of an eye, she'll be gone and out of sight. Oh, run, run, Vixen, oh, Santa's a vixen to fly, to fly, to fly. Oh, run, run, Vixen, oh, Santa's a vixen to fly, to fly. Gonna go around the whole wide world tonight. At the back of the pack, she's making tracks. She's got Santa's back, and that's a fact. When she kicks into gear, they all disappear. She's a supersonic, iconic reindeer. Oh, run, run, Vixen, oh, Santa's a vixen to fly, to fly, to fly. Oh, run, run, Vixen, oh, Santa's a vixen to fly, to fly. We're gonna go around the whole wide world tonight. Well, smitten with the best addition to Santa's mission. Oh, it's non-fiction. Go ask Blitz, and there's nothing crimson about her description, so get your list done. We're all smitten with the best addition to Santa's mission. Oh, it's non-fiction. Go ask Blitz, and there's nothing crimson about her description, so get your list done.
We're speaking with Hadley Luddy, CEO of the Homeless Prevention Council, and today we're going to talk about the resources HPC offers, the Adopt a Family program, and Rock Their Stop event. Welcome, Hadley. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me on, Pandora. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Many people are struggling to make ends meet across the Cape and across the U.S. And here on the Cape, housing is high and food and utilities are high. So tell us about your mission.
Sure. So the Homeless Prevention Council has been around now for more than 32 years, and we focus on keeping people stably housed and financially secure by providing comprehensive case management services, which incorporate both working with folks one-on-one to do everything from initially assess their situation and figure out what resources they are potentially eligible for or how we can connect them with such resources, to connecting people and families with programs like our Adopt a Family to the Holidays program, and various resources like rental assistance or fuel assistance. There are many ways in which organizations like HPC can help people stay in our community, which is really our big focus, to make sure that people, again, are thriving and able to be stable and live on the Lower and Outer Cape.
We all know about the housing scarcity, how few homes there are available to rent and to buy. So can you talk about the Adopt a Family program?
Sure. So the Adopt a Family program is one of the ways in which HPC really focuses on trying to reach people who are here, who are, struggling to pay their rent, as you said, dealing with various rising costs and challenges, and things like the holidays can really put a local family over the edge. So we are now in our 28th year, I'm proud to say. And last year alone, I think we served something like 575 kids in several hundred families. So basically what we do is we recruit people to adopt a family by basically going out to do their shopping, to focus on special wishes of the kids, as well as some critical clothes items. We include things like food cards for a holiday meal or just to get people through the holidays. So it's a really customized program where we're pairing donors with local people. It's an anonymous program. So there's no real personal information divulged, and parents are able to, or the guardian are able to pick up the materials that are all set for them to be able to package up and put under the Christmas tree or however people celebrate, to share those with their family. And it's just a wonderful sort of goodwill program that really helps people's bottom line, right? So, I mean, if something like $1,000 expenses over the holidays, can make a difference between making sure you're paying your rent on time or filling your oil tank, those are really critical ways that the community can help other people. And it's a wonderful program. So we encourage people both to sign up to participate as donors, but also to really encourage local people to either join the program, to call our office to learn more about joining and participating, or telling their people, their friends, and family and local people in the community that they know who might benefit.
Can you talk about the Rock to Stop event coming up?
Sure. So we're excited this year to again be featuring G-Love, and some special guests will be playing on the 22nd of December at Truro Vineyards. This is an event we've had for many years now, and this will be the second time that we've had it outdoors at the vineyard, sort of as a part of their winter market they do. That's such a wonderful, well-received event. And, they've got their outdoor fires and food trucks, and it's just a really nice event, great chance to gather outdoors. We will have auction items available. We hope to have an assortment of gift baskets that are ready to be purchased, and other items for people to use as a last-minute shopping excursion before the holidays. So we're both encouraging people to attend, as well as to consider donating an auction item to participate and help us raise our goal and our fundraising hopes for that evening.
So Hadley, how did you come to the Homeless Prevention Council and step into the role as CEO?
I actually was recruited by one of their board members back in 2016. I was doing some consulting and had actually spent really all of my career in public and community service, working with nonprofits across the region. And so I was recruited to come in to be the interim CEO or interim executive director with HPC at a time when their finances were particularly precarious. The organization was about 5 staff members, several of whom were part-time. And what I was able to sort of uncover, along with, a lot of other folks that were not uncovering, but already supporting and working with this wonderful organization, is that they were really doing yeoman's work and really just sort of the best kept secret, I would say, on the Lower and Outer Cape in terms of providing such a critical resource to, again, keep people stably housed and financially secure. So even as a long-term resident of Orleans, I was not familiar with the organization, which told me a lot, having been in the nonprofit world. So I worked with the board, I worked with the dedicated staff, many of whom are still there, to really build up and focus on their marketing and fundraising efforts. And I'm really proud to say that, we are now an organization of 24 staff, believe it or not, with a new location. We actually just moved a little over a year ago to 8 Main Street, Orleans, where we have a lovely location. I welcome anyone who would like to come by and see our location there to stop in. I should also say we have an office in Provincetown as well at the Methodist Church on Champaigner Road. So we've now grown to have 24 staff and a budget of over $2 million, and, all sorts of programs that are expanding and developing, not only including our case management work and special programs, but now we are implementing a youth homeless demonstration grant program, which was actually a federally funded pilot program to focus on young adults who are ages 18 to 24, both in terms of doing a lot of youth outreach to connect with youth who are struggling with housing and other issues, as well as piloting a host homes program, which we're really excited about, and is a chance for a local person to actually host a young person for an extended period of time in their home while they find stable housing. So we're really proud of the work that we've done. And I'm really lucky to have been with the organization now for 9 years and seen it evolve into where it is today.
That's exciting. And that's a really wonderful program too.
We're really in the business of prevention. So we really want folks to reach out to us before they are, at the end of their lease, or before they are really in serious financial trouble or housing trouble, to call us and see what we can do to help them. And the reason we say this is that there are a lot of people out there in the community who are actually eligible for programs like fuel assistance. I think a lot of people assume that they can't participate or may not, they may make too much money to be eligible for such programs. And what we find is that oftentimes we're able to uncover, both resources, whether it's fuel assistance or SNAP benefits or something like rental assistance, which is available in many towns now throughout the Lower and Outer Cape. We find that there are ways that we can help to stabilize people's housing. And we do a lot of personalized work like budgeting. So we're sitting down with somebody to say, okay, here's your monthly expenses. Where are the opportunities to cut back on something? Where's something where we can help you save some money? What could you be doing, between now and when you hope to maybe be able to buy a house or get into a more affordable rental? So we really work on a personalized plan with folks to achieve just that. And again, it's one of the reasons why we go out as often as we can to talk publicly with folks about getting a hold of us before they're in really serious trouble. The sooner that somebody reaches out to really focus on sort of what preventative measures might be in place to make sure they remain stably housed and financially secure, the sooner that we can help them achieve just that. We also, I should say, have special programs like we have a REACH program, which is geared toward really helping people achieve a future goal, which again will help them really remain stable in our community. So we've had folks participate in that program, which is a 3-month extensive program, to do things like go back and we had a woman last year finish her registered nurse training and certification. That's a big deal for someone in our community to be able to go and achieve a goal like that where their income is going to be substantially more significant. We've worked with a person who was not a licensed driver and joined the program to make sure that she could get her driver's license and purchase a car so that she could become a traveling home health aide, which is a critical need that we have in our community. And again, another way that somebody could perhaps earn more money to be able to afford to live here. So, it's really our approach that's very personalized and customized and has a great impact and helps us serve more than 2,300 people a year now.
Thank you, Hadley Luddy, for talking with us about the work that you do with the Homeless Prevention Council. So folks can go to the option on December 22nd, Rock to Stop. They can adopt a family for the holidays or contact you for fuel assistance, rental assistance, and other help that you provide.
Absolutely. We're always looking for volunteers as well. And I would just encourage folks to go to our website, hpccapecod.org, or you can just Google Homeless Prevention Council, and we'll come up, and there's all sorts of information there about all sorts of programs. And again, anyone who's listening who knows someone who is in need or struggling or perhaps could use some assistance themselves, please reach out to us and see how we can help you. And you can, again, do that via the web, via our phone number, 508-255-9667, or stopping in our office at 8 Main Street, Orleans, or at the Methodist Church in Provincetown.
Thank you so much, Hadley.
Thank you, Pandora. Great talking with you.
You've been listening to Healing Wisdom at Outermost Radio. All of our shows are podcasts at WOMR.org. Also check out healingwisdomradioshow.com and contact me at pandora@WOMR.org. Our theme music is provided by Mason. You can find her at masonmusic.com. That's MAESYN.